Good morning, everyone. Actually, when I was invited for this, uh, the first thought which came into me was nobody knows me fully, actually. And this was one of those opportunities where I can actually summarize my entire life and put it out there. I'm sure people have multiple personalities like what I have and multiple passions. And I'm sure many of you, somebody like me, would want to pursue each one of these passions with the same vigor. So I'm sure the stories which I'm going to share will inspire those people who have multiple passions. I'm Shivananda Koteshwar, a corporate leader, an educationalist, a student, an actor, an author, entrepreneur, an investor, and a speck in the loving family and of friends and family I have. So let me share my story, and let's hope it inspires some of you. Often in this world, the question which we get asked is, can a coin have more than two faces? And in the world that pushes us to choose one path, what if we could embrace multiple facets in our lives? And I think that's the question which has guided my journey. I have lived many different personalities, each contributing to a wide range of experiences that has shaped me and into the person I am today. When you look at people around us, right, I have a strong belief that people are made up of different fabric. Each one of them have a different color, a different fabric. But what if you are one of those persons like me who are a tapestry of diverse experiences woven with multiple facets of fabric, textures, and colors? When you are one of those things, each of these threads represents a unique perspective, intricately intertwined to create a vibrant mosaic, which is very unique, and that's what I am. Let me give you some examples. Today, I work in a company called as Astro Labs. We are in the connectivity space. We do solutions for hyperscalers in the data centers and AI infrastructure market. I head the India center here, and I'm a chip designer by profession. So we have taken up a challenge of doing the entire product out of India, from spec to parts. That's my day job. Apart from this, I'm also responsible for worldwide facilities. I'm also responsible for worldwide IT. I'm also responsible for worldwide procurement. Am I the best in the other things I do today? Definitely not. But I will be the best tomorrow, because I strongly feel there is no space for mediocrity in our corporate world. Whatever we pick up, make sure we are the best. That's a belief in which I work, and it takes time. It takes efforts. If you are passionate about it, I'm sure you can make it happen. That's one of the things I want to share with you. The second one is a very interesting story about education. I finished my engineering in Hassan, Malad College of Engineering, from 91 to 95. When she said 27 years of experience, I realized I have 30 years of experience right now. I finished my engineering in 95, and I was one of those students, very much like some of you guys here, thinking that 4 years of education is good enough and I can milk my next 30 years of my career. And I never wanted to study anymore. That's it, right? I got a good job, and I was a graduate who went to Intel in Portland. And the first thing my manager calls me is an undergraduate. I was very surprised to know that an engineering degree here, which we call as a graduation program, is an undergraduate program in US. And that led me to do my master's. And in those days, part-time master program was not very famous, right? Not many colleges were offering. So I went to this college, which actually didn't have a full-fledged part-time program. So they said, hey, why don't you join a full-time program, take permissions from the company. You don't have to attend the classes, but you need to write your tests, exams, everything, right? So I actually did my master's with full-time students, and I was able to finish the master's in less than a year because it was needed for me. So very passionate about this education. I wanted to study. I wanted to work hard. I put in all my efforts, and I did my master's. Did my MBA, post that. Came back to India for family reasons. And then I did my management program in IIM Bangalore, and never stopped after that. I wanted to learn law. I did IP law in National Law School. I was very interested in design thinking, so I took up this course in ISB. I finished it recently. I was very passionate about education. I always was interested in topics which is not common for engineers. One of the things which I was really interested in was hedonic psychology, which is called as a study of happiness. But I didn't have the prerequisite required to do a PhD program in that. So the universities didn't accept me. So then I thought the next passion was education. So I said, I want to focus more on the caliber of a teacher and the quality of a teacher, and how does it impact a student's outcome. And not much studies was happening in India at that time. So I took up a PhD program in that, and I completed, I think in 2022 or 22 actually, I completed my PhD program. And then I got admission. The next thing which got interested was a topic called as biomimicry. I don't know how many of you heard about it, but it's a study of nature. Basically, the underlying premise of this is that every problem we face, every situation we are in today, nature has already solved the problem. So biomimicry is mimicking the nature. So you have a problem, go and search in the nature. Nature already has a problem. Try to put it in your day-to-day life, and you can solve the problem much easier. So that field of study is called as biomimicry. Very few colleges offer that course, and this is a college in Texas which was offering that. I applied, I got a seat. I don't know when I'll do it because I really don't have time this year, but I'm sure in next 1 or 2 years, I'll definitely do that. So for me, life is a symphony of experiences, diverse experiences, passions, and connections you make throughout this journey. When you have multiple passions, the biggest question is, are you working on each of these passions with equal intensity? It's very easy to say I'm passionate about this and that, but do you have the same intensity for these two passions? I think that's the first question we all need to ask ourselves, and that's exactly what I did. And sometimes some of these passions help us build something very meaningful. Sometimes it helps you do things which you never did in life. Let me give you this example. I have an agricultural farm in a place called as Malvalli, which is between Bangalore and Mysore. I'm from Bangalore, by the way. So there's a place called Malvalli. I'm pure Kannadiga, and I picked up this farm in Malvalli, and I was finding reasons to go to this farm because with the job, it's very difficult to go there. But I started going there on the weekend, started interacting with the kids over there. And some of these kids were very hesitant to talk to me, were very, very hesitant to talk to us. And I found out that they didn't have the confidence to talk to us. Then it actually went back to my college days. And I always maintained distinction in my education in my 4 years. And the 4th year, there is only one batch who will get HOD as your guide for your project work. And that batch should be distinction, all of them. All 5 students should have distinction. So I was one of them. So I got HOD as a guide. And it's a very privileged team to be in a college with a HOD as a guide. And Viva came, and we were sitting in the Viva, and I froze. I went to the board. I just froze because I could never speak on a stage. I was very poor in English. Nobody spoke in English in Hassan. Everybody spoke in Kannada. I also spoke in Kannada. I studied in Vijaya High School, Vijaya College, where nobody spoke in English. So I never realized that English would be a deterrent for me. And today also I know 800 words. Good enough, right, to speak the language we want, as long as you express what you feel, as long as you can ask what you want, as long as you can share your ideas. I don't think language should be a barrier. I believed it, I did it, so I thought, why don't we start the English classes for these kids? I have no affection to any particular language. I think all of us knowing multiple languages is a blessing. We picked up English. We said, okay, why don't we start doing this? It was 6 years back. And if you ask them earlier, what do you want to become? You would have heard these kids say, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a policeman. I want to join the army, right? Today you ask them, same kids or kids who are grown up, they'll say, I want to go to US. I want to go to UK. I want to be a marine biologist. I want to get into something where nobody has done. So there is no difference between what a kid in a city will say, what he or she wants to do, and the child in a village where he or she wants to do. So what changed? It's just the volunteers sharing their experiences, letting the kids know we were like you when we were young, right? We worked hard and we made it happen. The ability to dream big is the biggest gift you can give someone. Everybody out there will always try to put you down. You tell them something, I want to do this. The first thing you will hear is, don't do it, because you will fail. They'll give you 100 stories to tell why you would fail also. The question is, first thing is ability to dream big. The second one is to maintain that dream. It's not easy in this world. And that's exactly what we started doing in Bellaku. And I think Bellaku in Kannada means light, right? So we started this 6 years back, and today we have more than 400 kids. We work with multiple villages, multiple centers in Bangalore. All our kids go to government schools or small private schools, come from an underprivileged background. And it's a wonderful experience to work with these kids, right? So this was a passion which turned into a cause. That's what I'm trying to tell, right? We recently we launched 3 years back. We launched a program where we pick up 150 girl students from government school, government college in Malleshwaram in Margosa Road, and we train them on CET and NEET coach, crash course after they finish their 12th. You'll be surprised. 3 years back, there were hardly 4-5 kids who would get into engineering or medical. Last year, which is the third batch of ours, there were 70 kids, 70 kids who got into engineering, medical, nursing, agriculture, one of these things. And we not only help them get into these programs, we also take care of their fees if they cannot pay, right? And small, again, is it the effort? Is it the time? Is it the money? It's a combination of multiple things. It's basically putting like-minded people together on that particular cause. Everybody has extra time. Everybody has extra money. Sometimes they need to be shown a path to actually do it. And that's exactly what, as a trust, Bedeco is doing. So that's the first example I want to give. The second one is, I have never done theater in my school. Never. I could never go to the stage. So there's no way I can do theater. The only time I did theater was in 7th grade. And this was, I don't even remember the story, but I was a pig in that. And they had put a mask. So my mom recognized me because I used to bite my nails. And between that mask, I was biting my nails. So she said, it must be you. And I didn't have any dialogue. I was just supposed to stand. And that was the best theater I did. So a couple of years back, I said, why don't I try that? I don't know what I'll be today. And the advantage of being in corporate world and with the connections and the network I had, I got an opportunity to act in a movie, right? And I said, okay, let me try. I've never done it. Let's try it out. The only thing I told the producer is don't take too many shots. I'm very bad at scripts. Don't take too many shots, try to finish it off. It actually came out very well. I was very happy with myself. I don't care what others felt, but I was very, very happy with this. I don't know how many of you watched Love Mocktail Part 2. I was a psychiatrist in that movie. And it worked out well. And I always claim that my first movie was the biggest hit in Kannada, which is the fact. I have no role to play in that, but anyway, I'm a part of the movie. Then I got a part recently in another Kannada movie now, Purvapara, where I'm a commissioner of police, right? I'm working with some of the known actors. C.Kai Chandru is the ACP there. So I got a privilege to work with these people, and it's just a very humbling experience. You realize the effort it takes to master that particular art is not easy, right? The second example I want to give is I don't dance. People complain that, any functions or you go to a pub, I'm one of those, lazy guy who sits in the back and watches people. I don't go to the dance floor. I don't do any of those things. My niece was getting married in December, my sister's daughter. She said, you have to do something on the stage because of that Sangeet. And I was wondering, what the hell will I do now? Then I thought, okay, she's my darling kid. Let me try something. So I went and took a class in something which nobody would do. I took a class in Yakshagana. I hope you know what Yakshagana is, right? It's an art form of Karnataka. I took a class in Yakshagana. It took like 3 hours to do the makeup. And finally, I performed in front of my family and friends. And again, it was a wonderful experience, something which I never thought I could do in life. At my age 52, I could learn a new art and perform was something very big for me. Right? I did that. I grew up with Amar Chitrakatha. I never studied beyond that Amar Chitrakatha. Hardy Boys was like complex English for me. Right? I never read anything in my life. And suddenly, I think in 2014, I decided I want to write a book. Right? And what do you start with? So I said, okay, let me write 100 stories of my experience. Started writing. By the time I touched 50, I realized that it was good enough to release. So my first book was called 50 Shades of Life. And I released this book. Again, my friends and family were forced to buy. So sale happened, worked very well. Then I wrote, okay, why not write another book? So I wrote another book, 50 Colors of Love, full fiction. Again, friends and family had to buy it, worked out very well. Then I said, why don't I try something totally different, right? So I picked up textbook because I teach in educational institutes. I teach multiple different things. So I said, hey, why don't I write? Springer Publication came forward, and I published 3 textbooks right now, right? And got a very, very good response on that. So what I'm trying to tell is, all of us have multiple passions. Remember, with vigor, you can make it happen. And one other thing which was very interesting was I found out very early in my life that I could inspire people. I could make them embrace my missions. I could make them embrace my dreams. And that was the biggest plus point I had. So it worked out very well, both in my personal life and corporate life. Example, I'm a good number one. I strongly believe in it. But I'm a better number two. What I mean by that is, I am very good at working with people who dream big. I am the guy who can make sure you achieve your dreams. So I actually picked up jobs and tasks where I actually became a good number two. And that's exactly what I do today, right? Identifying your strengths, very, very important. So that's the genesis of starting schools. I started a school for PS Group. Jawhar, who's the owner of PS, was kind enough to give me an opportunity to start a school. I quit my corporate job, did school full time because I wanted to learn the intricacies of starting an educational institute. And that's what I did. And was a humbling experience again. Then I have another school now, Orinco Academy in Sarjapur. Again, work with kids. And that is an opportunity I had working with multiple things. And in these last 30 years, things have changed. For me, life anchors have changed. All of you know what EPS is, right? Earnings per share. That used to be my life, earnings per share. It's all about money. When I started my career, moved very fast into ethics per share and eventually to empathy per share. What I mean by that is, initially, my job in my career was all about salary and money, moved into power and position, to help people, and finally moved into power and position to actually create a difference for the people. So I just want to end this with letting you know that all of us have multiple personalities. You need to identify that particular personas in you which will make a difference for yourself, for the society around you, and which will make you happy. Remember, comfort is the worst addiction. Keep smiling. Nobody cares how you feel inside. I strongly believe in it. Trust your uniqueness. All of us are very, very unique. Make sure you trust your uniqueness. Don't try to think outside the box. Remember, there is no box. So if you try to work around this box, it will never work. Finally, never apologize for burning too brightly or collapsing into yourself at night. This is how galaxies are made. This is how you are made. This is how I am made. So thank you very much.